Hey skiers, this is Jeff from Skiessentials.com. We're here today to talk about some men's all-mountain skis in the 100mm waist category. If you read the article that's going along with this video, something that we really tried to hit home in that article is we don't believe that there's a singular best ski out there. It's really hard to objectively say that one ski is better than another ski. You can, on the other hand, say, you know, this ski is good at this ski is good at that, and kind of start to correspond and correlate those performance characteristics to your own ski style and what you're looking for out of a ski. So we have 6 skis here. They're all 2017 all-mountain skis with the exception of the Enforcer. That's the 2018 graphic. But we're going to just run through them real quick, talk about some highlights in each of them, what they're really good at, and hopefully from this video and the article you start to get a sense of what ski you might like if you're in the market for a 100mm waist all-mountain ski. So to start over here, this is the Blizzard Bonafide. The Bonafide's been on the market for quite a long time now, and it's developed a following and a reputation for being a hard-charging ski. It likes to be skied aggressively, it likes to be skied fast, it's very stable, it's very powerful. They did add carbon to the tips and the tails for last season, which has made it a little bit more forgiving. But the tail is pretty stiff. It likes to complete a carving turn with some power. So something to consider when you're choosing your ski. This one likes to be skied pretty hard, pretty fast, pretty aggressively. Next we have the Volkl Mantra, another ski that's been on the market for years and years and years, although it's undergone more changes over its existence than say the Bonafide has. The current version of the Mantra is full reverse camber, so full rocker, but it does still use 2 sheets of metal, so it's still a burly ski, in kind of the same sense as the Bonafide is. It's still 2 sheets of metal. The difference here is that with the reverse camber shape, it pivots a little easier, it engages a turn on firm snow a little bit easier, and contrary to that, it doesn't have quite the same power finishing a turn, especially on hard snow, as say the Bonafide does. But if you want something with that same strength from the metal, but something that you can take into soft snow, or maybe you ski soft snow more than firm snow, the Mantra may be something to think about over the Bonafide. And that brings us nicely to the Nordica Enforcer 100. Like I said, this is the 2018 graphic, so Nordica did an early release of this graphic. We're starting to see it pop up. Not too many shops have it. We're lucky to have it. The Enforcer is pretty easy. Well, I wouldn't say it's easy to segment, but I like to consider it kind of in between the 2017 Bonafide and the Mantra. It is pretty powerful on groomers. It kind of pops and has an energetic feel out of a carving turn, more so than the Mantra. But it doesn't have the same really stiff tail as the Bonafide. So that's kind of the big difference there. I always tell people if you're looking for a really even mix of performance characteristics across a wide range of snow or a wide range of terrain, it's pretty hard to beat the Enforcer. But you know, it's not, if you want a crazy powerful release out of a turn, that's the Bonafide. If you want something really smeary and pivoty, that's the Mantra. And that's, all 3 of those skis have 2 sheets of metal in them. So kind of similar skis in construction, but different shapes and makes them do different things. Alright, so kind of moving away from the 2 sheets of metal, the next ski we have up is the Rossignol Sky7 HD. This took the place of the Sin 7 for this season. And it uses what Rossignol likes to call their carbon alloy matrix. This is basically carbon and basalt that's woven across the top of the ski. well, not across the top, it's underneath the top sheet, but you can see it. And basically the Sky7, you know, because it doesn't have full sheets of metal in it, it's lighter than the first 3 skis that we talked about. You can see the significant early taper in the tip. There's also early taper in the tail. And basically, it's quick, it's snappy, it's easy to pivot in soft snow. But what the carbon alloy matrix has done is it's now a little bit more responsive and a little bit more torsionally stiff for use on the groomers, where the old Sin7 used to wash out a little bit and the tip would chatter every now and then. The Sky7 is a little bit quieter and a little bit more powerful. So definitely a really cool ski. Not quite as hard charging as the Bonafide, the Mantra, and the Enforcer, but still super high performing ski. Maybe you don't like to ski quite as fast. This could be a good one for you. This is kind of the standout here. In the article, if you read it, we talked about the QST99. This is the QST106, which is, you know, it's a little different than these skis when we get up into the 106 range. It's more of a free ride profile than the QST99. What we really want to get home about the QST99, it's super playful. It's super smeary. If you read our full review on the QST99, it really transitions from different snow conditions really easily. It's almost like the ski kind of has a mind of its own and kind of adjusts itself to what you're skiing on. Salomon uses, they call it CFX Superfiber, and it's basically flax fiber woven with carbon fiber. So you get kind of the same torsional stiffness benefits as the carbon alloy matrix that we see in the Sky7, but we found it's a little damper in the QST, which I think is from the flax. I don't know where else that would come from. There is a metal strip that runs down the ski, which is definitely providing some dampness and quiet. But the flax fibers seem to do something. So we think they're onto something there. It's definitely the surfiest out of these 6 skis. That's hard to say. Surfiest out of 6 skis. Yeah. Maybe not quite as quick and agile as the Sky7. The Sky7 really likes to jump and bump around, where the QST, it almost feels like it has shock absorbers and likes to stay kind of smooth and smeary along the top of the snow. But definitely a super fun ski. Still lighter than the first 3 skis we talked about because there's not 2 sheets of metal in it. So you know, if you're an all-mountain skier that is always looking for the softest snow on the mountain, out of these 6 skis, QST99 could be the one for you, unless you're really trying to charge hard, and then we're kind of going back to the need for 2 sheets of metal. The last ski we're going to talk about is the K2 Pinnacle 95, contrary to the QST106 that we just looked at. This one's only 95 underfoot. We talked about this ski. Basically, we do think it fits in this category. K2 does the Pinnacle 95 and the Pinnacle 105, and some other wider models as well. But basically, they don't have a exact 100 millimeter waist. It's 95 or 105, but you can kind of pick your poison there, whether you want to be a little bit more firm snow oriented or a little bit more soft snow oriented. But the Pinnacle, I would say the biggest thing to take home about the Pinnacle is it's probably the smoothest and easiest to ski out of all these skis. It does have metal, so it does have solid torsional stiffness. You know, it's not super powerful, but it is energetic and responsive, and it's going to have a strong feel in and out of a carving turn. Especially maybe skiers who once were really aggressive and now they're becoming less aggressive. This is a great ski. You know, if you're used to something that has a lot of metal in it and you want to retain that feel, but go to something that's a little bit more relaxed, you know, it doesn't, you don't have to get up and charge on it all the time. That's the Pinnacle 95. Lots of other skis in this category. Definitely leave us a comment on the blog article or below this video. If you have a ski that you're interested in that's in this category that we didn't talk about here, or if you have more questions about any of these skis, definitely let us know. We've put links to all 6 full in-depth reviews to these skis in both the description of this video and the article. So check those out if you haven't before. So to summarize, yeah, those are 6 kind of around 100 millimeter waist all-mountain skis. To go back to what we were saying initially, objectively, I literally cannot say that one of these skis is better than the rest, or even that one of them is worse than the rest. They're all different. They all have slightly different applications. Different skiers are going to prefer one over the other. It's different for everybody out there. So, do your research. Definitely let us know if you have any questions. It's always really fun to demo them if you can get out on local demos. A lot of local resorts will run a demo day, so call your local resort and see if that's something that's going to happen. And 6 great skis, and I think this is a really good example of how things can differ significantly within one category. And yeah, that's it. 100 millimeter all mountain skis.